waiting for two of our commissioners to arrive, but once we have quorum, we'll start the meeting. Yeah.
Video. Should be good. I just can't see the video for some reason. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Taylor, you ready?
We're ready.
Okay. Apologize for the late delay this morning. RTD is always fun. But welcome to the November 2nd, 2023 meeting of the Lower Downtown Design Review Commission. We'll get started today with introductions, and we'll start on this side with John.
John McIntyre, Commissioner at Large.
Andy Duckett, MP, Preservation Architect.
I'm Heather Vasquez Johnson, practicing architect and chair.
Tom Sella, general contractor.
And I'm Brittany Bryant, Landmark staff.
Okay. So we are starting today at 8:42. So before we get started, a few tips for anyone who is joining us virtually today. For better sound quality, we ask that you download Zoom on your desktop, laptop, tablet, or mobile device. For audio settings, adding a background noise suppression, as well as testing speaker and microphone to maximize output volumes will help with sound. For anyone who is presenting or public commenter, when it is your turn to speak, to click and unmute, please click on the microphone icon at the bottom of the screen. Expanding that icon will give you additional options to select and test your microphone and speakers. If you still have audio challenges, we recommend that you switch to phone for audio. Okay, so we will get started. We do have a the first thing to do, there's a meeting record from the meeting on October 5th of 2023. Did anyone have any comments or corrections for staff? Okay, I'm not seeing anyone, so I think that the meeting record can be accepted as is. So we do not have any members on the consent agenda or any items on consent agenda today, so we will move straight into design review. The design review process is on the screen. I'll announce the item that we have on the agenda today. The staff will introduce the application, give a recommendation, at which time commissioners can question staff. After that, the applicant has the opportunity to present for 10 minutes. After the applicant presentation, the commissioners can ask questions of the applicant. We will open it up for public comment, follow up with any staff clarifications, and then enter the commission deliberation. At that time, commission will deliberate, and then we will issue a motion and vote. So the first item on the design review today is item 2020-COA-023 at 1420 Wynkoop Street. Turn it over to Jesse.
All right, so this is back again. This is 1420 Wynkoop Street. It is currently a vacant lot, bordered on the west by Wynkoop Street, on the east by Wazee Street, on the north by 1430 Wynkoop Street, which is a contributing building to the district, and on the south by Cherry Creek. So the applicant was approved for phase 1 mass forming context on September 5th, 2019, and for phase 2 design details on February 6th, 2020. The applicant is currently requesting to revise phase 2 design detail submissions for new construction with the following revisions. And I do want to start off by saying this is the second revision that's coming for you. The last meeting, the commission did deny it. They had questions about some of the windows on the Wazee side of the building. So the applicant will be removing parking level number 3 and will be maintaining the parking levels at 1 and 2. Additionally, the applicant is proposing to increase the step back from Wynkoop at the northwest corner It was previously 15 feet 6 inches and is going to be increased to 28 feet 8 inches. That area is highlighted with the red box. And staff was supportive of this as they felt that it added additional visual relief to 1430 Wine Coop, which is that contributing structure. So the applicant is proposing to add a mezzanine level between levels 1 and 3, and that will increase the overall number of stories from 8 stories to 9 stories in the previous approval. Beginning at level 3, continuing to level 8, the applicant will be stepping the building back from Wine Coop Street on the northwest corner from 28 feet 8 inches to 51 feet 10 inches. The applicant will inset the north wall of the new structure away from the south wall of 1430 Wine Coop Street 5 feet 2 inches for a length of 36 feet 5 inches. So this portion right here. And then the applicant will be increasing the inset on the north wall an additional 5 feet. And that will be for a length of 140 feet 9 inches before stepping back out to a width of 9 feet 11 inches at the northeast corner. Staff would like to note that the patios that were shown on the 5th floor of the previous approved plan set, those have been moved to the 3rd floor. Starting at level 6 and continuing to level 8, the applicant will be maintaining the 51 feet 10 inch step back at the northwest corner and the 5 foot 2 inch inset for a length of 36 feet 5 inches on the north wall of the building. And they will be increasing the 10 foot 2 inch step back on the north wall for a length of 140 feet 9 inches. And that will increase to 177 feet 9 inches at this floor. And then the 9 foot 11 bump out on the northeast corner of the building will terminate at level 6. And then finally, as far as alterations to the footprint go, the applicant is proposing to alter the penthouse portion of the building. So in the previous approval, that's level 8, and in the proposed plan set, that is level 9. The west Wine Coop facing wall of the penthouse will be set back from the front wall of the building 26 feet 4 1/4 inches. The south Cherry Creek facing wall of the penthouse will be set back 15 feet 4 inches, and that will increase, and that's between 15 feet 4 inches to 16 feet 6 inches. And that from the south wall of the building. And then the east Wazee facing wall of the penthouse will be set back from the east wall of the building 32 feet 7 7/8 inch. The north 1430 Wine Coop Street facing wall of the penthouse will be set back from the north wall of the building 9 feet 2 inches and between 9 feet 2 inches to 25 feet 6 inches. And then the roof deck of the building will wrap the north, west, and south sides of the penthouse with mechanical equipment on the north and east sides of the penthouse. And that will be set back 88 feet from the west Wine Coop wall of the building. So now we'll move into alterations on elevations. So there are just a few minor adjustments to the approved windows at the first floor of the south elevation that are added to better accommodate the mezzanine level in that proposed plan set. And they will be adding additional doors at level 1 to provide patio access for the first floor tenants. The largest change on the south elevation is the addition of Juliet balconies and doors and additional recessed balconies. The applicant will be adding clear glass Juliet balconies and doors to level 3 through 8 of the southwest corner of the building and levels 3 through 5 of the southeast corner of the building. And then they will be maintaining the overall mullion pattern of these openings from that previous approval, but we'll be adding doors and clear glass railings instead of just maintaining them as windows. And then they are also proposing to add recessed balconies on levels 4 through 7 of the southwest corner of the building. And from the previous approval of recessed balconies that were just at levels 5 through 6 on that corner. Additional minor alterations are proposed for the window operation and location on the glass zipper on the south wall. New windows will be casement style instead of awning style windows, and will be used on the mezzanine level through level 8. And then finally, on this elevation, the applicant is proposing to add additional doors and windows on the 9th floor penthouse. And they're proposing to extend the approved canopy roughly 28 feet to the east. Thank you, Brittany. So on the east elevation, there are 2 changes that are proposed. And that includes the addition of casement windows on levels 3 through 5, and the addition of Juliet balconies and doors on levels 3 through 5. The proposed casement window addition will fit within the approved mullion pattern in the previous approval, and will not significantly alter the appearance of the previous approval. The applicant will be adding clear glass Juliet balconies to levels 3 through 5 of the northeast corner of the building, and will be maintaining that overall mutton pattern, as I said previously. They're just adding doors, operable doors, and a railing rather than maintaining windows. So the addition of Juliet balconies and doors to a street-facing facade below 55 feet is slightly concerning to staff. However, this portion of the guidelines is a preference and not a requirement, so we felt that some flexibility could be granted here. I don't know why I decided to stop letting me change the slides. Thank you, Brittany, again. So on the west on the west elevation, the applicant is proposing 3 alterations. And that is the addition of casement windows on levels 3 through 8, and the addition of Juliet balconies on the metal clad at building zipper on level 3 through 8, and the removal of the first floor entry door on the metal zipper portion of the building. So the casement window addition will fit within the approved mullion pattern and will not significantly alter the appearance of the previous approval. The applicant will be adding clear glass Juliet balconies on levels 3 through 8 on the northwest corner of the building, and will be maintaining that overall mutton pattern as previously stated. So further back on the building, the Juliet balconies and doors will be added to the setback, or that will be set back from the street 51 feet 10 inches. And then finally, the applicant will be removing the entry door at the first floor of the building on that zipper piece, and will be maintaining the overall mullion pattern that was in the previous approval, just adding in a door at that first floor level. So on the north elevation, there will be quite a few alterations. So the applicant will be stepping back the metal clad building zipper from 28 feet 8 inches to 51 feet 10 inches, adding a clear glass Juliet balconies to levels 3 through 8 on the northwest corner of the building, as well as levels 4 through 8 on the main body of the north elevation. The applicant will be maintaining the overall mullion pattern of these openings from that previous approval. and we'll be adding clear glass balconies. Applicant is proposing 3 windows matching the previously approved window configuration on the 36 feet 5-inch bump out. And then staff had mild concerns over the solid to void spacing on the bump out, but feel that it may be minimally visible as it is on, it is more than 51 feet 10 inches from the west wall or west elevation. And it's on an interior side. An additional alteration to the window openings can be found on the metal panel zipper at the center of the north elevation. Previously, the windows in this location were paired awning and fixed mullioned windows, and now they're proposed to be altered into single punched openings. We also had some concerns over this, adding additional window type on this elevation, feeling that it might visually disrupt the established window opening rhythms on the building, but also felt that this portion of the building would be minimally visible because again, it is at that interior lot side. Finally, the applicant is proposing to add window openings on levels 3 through 5, and those were in the previous approval, were removed out of the last submittal that was reviewed by the commission and was the area of concern that the commission talked quite a bit before denying that application. The applicant has extended that brick portion at that corner and has added the windows back in to create a balanced and wrapped corner or activated corner there. Yes, thank you. So here are just a few renderings for that new proposal. The application materials have additional drawings and details for your review, but I just included just a few of these renderings in here. Landmark staff are recommending approval of the proposal for the following reasons. The north facade, which will be visible over the lower buildings on the block, is compatible with the historic context. It has regular fenestration patterns and an equal solid to void ratio, which is common on visible sidewall or alley elevations of historic buildings in the district, citing guidelines 5.2, 5.21, and 5.2.2. The building facades have a consistent articulated bay rhythm. The windows have sills, and the windows in upper story door openings have vertical proportions due to the mullion pattern. Operable windows are used in residential portions of the building, citing guidelines 5.3, 5.3.1, and 5.3.2. The balcony railings are clear glass, while roof terraces extend more than 10 feet in length and 5 feet in in depth. The projecting and inset balconies do not exceed those dimensions. Staff had initial concerns over those Juliet balconies below 55 feet, particularly on the street facing elevations. However, staff ultimately concluded that the overall mullion openings would be maintained from that previous approval and the clear balconies would be used, reducing visibility. Additionally, the guideline that states that balconies should not be added below 55 feet is a preference, again, instead of a requirement. And we are citing guideline 5.3.3 on that.
Thank you, Jesse. Does any commissioners have questions for staff? I'm not seeing any, so I'd like some applicant to feel free to, sit right there. And if you could please, again, start with your name and address for the record.
There I am. Hi, my name is Nathan Jenkins. I'm with Oz Architecture, 3003 Larimer Street in Denver, 205. Great to see you. Figured we'd do this in person, as being remote was a challenge last time we presented. And to that end, I guess our thought was to not recite some of the words and restate some of the words that got us to the point of clarity and your, the commission's desire for us to reassess the northeast corner and how we were treating that. If that's all right, to just focus on that area. We can talk about how we got to where we are today again, if that's helpful for those who aren't here, or if we can just sort of cut to the chase, the issue that gave us or created the denial the last time we were in front of you all. Is that fair? You all? So after a bit of orchestration, consultation, and coordination with some window manufacturers, we've been able to identify a rated window condition that allows us to preserve the and hold the line of the masonry at the property line and introduce windows. We're limited in the size of the window, which is why the windows are punched as they show. And then there is a combination, or there's an introduction of spandrel glass within the mullion pattern, so that we can limit the square footage of the pane size within the 2 additional punched openings. I think as is the theme relative to the original design detail approval, we think this is actually a better response and condition at the corner than was initially approved. We hope you see that just by having that sort of interlock and that element, the masonry element, sort of fly past the upper story setback area. And we do believe, I believe it's Heather, maybe the last time we spoke, who thought that the plan would benefit by introducing some extra square footage to that unit itself. And I believe as Mr. Glick's comment about the datum at 55 feet, that's important. We've gone in and done albeit subtle, but intentional detail to highlight that area throughout the solid metal zone on that north facade, and then changed how the windows are gathered through material texture and pattern on the floors below that datum. So it's a bit, it's more subliminal than it's literal, of course, but it's not an obvious color change. We thought that was incongruent with the overall composition and would detract from the alley, but we do have a material change there, or a pattern change there. So we tried to consider and respond to all the comments we got last month. And hopefully you're seeing that here today.
Is that all you have?
That's it.
Great. Any members of the commission have questions for the applicant? Okay, I'm not seeing any.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody from the public wishing to speak on this project? If you were on the Zoom, please raise your hand. The staff can make you a presenter. No hands raised. Okay, we're not seeing any. So we will close the presentations and public comment and open deliberation. What does everybody think?
I wasn't part of the last round review piece, so I don't have that context, but I'm supportive of the changes. And in terms of what I see, it seems appropriate, obviously, given the that primary shift of to residential, fully residential, and the pattern of windows, the Juliet balconies at low levels. I don't have an issue with personally. I think it's a good street activating moment with that lower level activation. I'd commend you on the obviously work that it takes to get to a fire rated window assembly and a wall like that. That's hard on property line, but I do think that that extra width and that double window pattern is helping, that the proportion of that volume feels better. So generally, I don't see any issues with what I'm seeing here, and will be supportive of the changes.
Jim and Tom can chime in, but I think last month's discussion, I think generally the commission was comfortable with the modifications. The area in particular of concern was that corner where they've added the windows back in. The application that was denied last month had a false brick panel, and we felt like it was going to be quite rather visible, and you can see that from the rendering that they've provided.
That corner.
And we felt like it was important. We agreed with the staff recommendation. It was important to get windows back in there. And there were a few comments about, again, that kind of inside interior lot line
Sure.
elevation and the window patterning a little bit, but
I like the subtlety of kind of a water line that runs through at the datum, and feels like it's appropriate.
I feel like this application has addressed the comments and concerns that were raised last month when it was denied, so. You look like you have thoughts, Andy.
No, I was gonna comment, I really appreciate how the two masonry volumes, and again, I missed the last meeting, but I appreciate how the two masonry volumes on the east and west side kind of create the rhythm down the historic facades, and then the south side allows itself to be a little bit more contemporary, but it all still kind of cohesively goes together. So I feel like it's a strong application that fits within the guidelines. Thank you for doing the heavy lifting on this one last month.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's we kind of, everybody felt like the change from a mixed use building that was office and residential to a fully residential building. These modifications were subtle enough, kept familiar patterning. It really made a lot of sense, so,
Well, thank you
Although
for
it's
that.
disappointing not to see another vertical mixed use,
yeah.
but get it.
We all know how difficult office is right now, so.
Yeah.
Tom, did you have another comment?
No, I liked your review of what happened previously. And I appreciate you guys' new look on
Yeah.
what happened. And I approve. It's what we asked for very much.
I mean, the one thing I would like to commend the applicant on is that it is a modern interpretation of what would have been a turn of the century masonry building. And so it has cues back to the historic, but it definitely is of its own time. So
Yep.
I think it'll work well.
Should we jump to a motion?
Yeah, if someone's ready to make a
I'm
motion,
happy to make a motion.
love to hear it.
I move to approve application number 2020-COA-023 for the revisions to phase 2 design details submission for new construction at 1420 Wyckoff Street as per design policy standards and guidelines 5.2, 5.2.1, 5.2.2, 5.3, 5.3.1, 5.3.2, 5.3.3, presented testimony, submitted documentation, and information provided in the staff report.
Thank you, John. We have a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Andy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Great, the motion passes unanimously. Great, wonderful. And we have no business items today. No discussion items on the agenda unless anyone has anything to bring up. And if not, I will adjourn the meeting at 9:09. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thanks.